Well, back to Under Oath. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman, and sitting next to me, like usual, is James John.
Me? Yes.
Why are you the likable one?
Well, because I have learned to fake it.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone always says, I can't imagine James saying a mean thing.
No, I'm not allowed to say mean things.
You and I were having lunch today.
Yeah.
And my partner Craig was in the car, and I mentioned to you, I said, hey, you believe the Diddy trial is going on and we don't care?
Craig piped up.
Diddy? He's on trial right
Diddy's
now?
on trial? But I didn't know it started. And we were both commenting, yeah, and you
Why
won't.
do you think we aren't hearing about it?
Because.
And how are we not hearing about it?
You know why. We're not supposed to talk about it. You know why.
I mean, I remember when Danny Masterson from the 70s show was on, we heard, and that's not even close. Every day we heard some weird stuff.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But we don't hear anything about this trial.
Mum's the word.
Because you know why? They a lot of people who donate a lot of money, a lot of advertisers out there who go, don't say anything.
Don't you say
Don't
nothing.
cover this.
Mm-mm.
Don't cover this.
Don't you go to that trial.
How are we not covering it?
You know why.
Yeah, but there's nothing else going on.
No.
What else is going on right now?
No, it's just tariffs and Diddy.
Tariffs and Diddy.
That's
Half
it.
the people don't know what a tariff is.
They don't, but they
It's
know
a
who
tax,
Diddy
everybody.
is.
It's a tax.
It's a tax.
It's a tax.
But they know who Diddy is.
He's starting a trade war. No, trade war doesn't end.
It's ongoing.
Trade war is ongoing.
It's an effort.
There's no like, hey, we declare war. No, we've
been fighting it for a long time.
Every country fights it.
Correct.
Everyone's it.
Correct.
We just don't say anything.
We all want the better deal.
Yeah.
That doesn't end. We all
What country goes, you know what?
We're good.
Let's pay a lot of this.
None.
When was the last time you went into a car dealership and goes, sold?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Let's not haggle at all.
You know what?
No.
I'm good. Just tell me what I'm paying.
Gotcha. Don't even tell me.
In fact,
here's a
I
blank
want you to
check.
charge me extra.
There you go.
You know, I dealt with a car dealership the other day. I'm not going to mention the name. But this dealership started talking. And the minute the guy goes, yeah, we're going to put coating.
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 Coating, yes.
Now, women, and I'm addressing you directly.
Mhm. Okay, I like this.
If you hear the word coating, ask the guy, hey, I didn't authorize this conduct. We are not in a relationship here. You are not me tooing me at the blank dealership.
Okay. Explain that to everybody out there.
Coating is a scam.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we put coating. What coating?
What kind of coating?
It's acrylic ceramic. Is it bulletproof?
Exactly.
No. Oh, we sprayed some stuff on the car.
You mean paint?
It did come with paint?
It just come in paint?
Oh, no. Well, see, there was paint, but there wasn't coating.
Coating. Oh.
So he coated.
Oh.
You mean like wax?
You know
You Jackie Chan that car for me?
That's funny. You know what my favorite thing they add on at the dealership? Destination fee.
Oh, yeah.
They're travel agents now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Destination fee.
Destination fee.
Because you can't just come here, you know.
I got hit for Ticketmaster. I was like, wait a second. Wait, hold on.
Perfect.
There's a Ticketmaster fee on this thing? And Ticketmaster's going, shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, shut up. Okay.
See, you have to ask yourself this question. What am I paying for?
That's a great question.
Now, this is the Ticketmaster scam. And Ticketmaster, please come after me.
Yeah.
Please, I'm asking you. This is what it goes. Ticketmaster goes, oh, we'll add $69, $89. And why does it go up depending on the cost of the ticket?
That's correct.
Does the value they give you go up?
No.
Did the amount of energy? They go, well, see, since it was $2,000, we had to put 3 people on this ticket.
Correct.
No. It's the same amount if I buy a $10 ticket to a $300 ticket.
Yes.
And then here's the thing. If I want to transfer the ticket or I want to sell the ticket, there's another
Their fee. For me to sell something I already own. That's a tariff.
All right. It's a tariff.
All right. You know what time it is, my friend.
Oh, please.
It's time for Legally Screwed.
He's an attorney and he doesn't know this.
Bleh.
What can I say?
Well, people turn to you
Yeah.
for advice.
And they blame me when I don't agree with what happened on the good wife.
That is correct.
Okay.
The Good Wife.
I saw in the good wife, this wasn't the law.
Is that the barometer?
Yeah.
Good Wife.
This is the same woman who got off ER. Let's be honest. She walked away from ER money.
True. Oh, well, I saw Matlock and she said.
Matlock, she said, and he said.
Okay, here we go. Legally screwed. That's right.
Okay.
If you got screwed, was it legal? Here's how we do it. Now, a woman in coma still legally married to husband. Okay, this is going to be a good one for you.
Coma.
Yeah, coma. A friend is in a coma with liver and kidney failure, and her divorce proceedings with her husband are still pending after 3 years. She has adult children Who has legal authority to make decisions for her? Her estranged husband or her adult children? And what happens if neither wants responsibility? Ooh.
Okay. Depending on the state you're in.
Always.
It always depends on the state.
Okay.
Somebody has to be considered her guardian.
All right.
Somebody has to have rights to speak for her. Sometimes you have a will that defines it. If you're incapacitated, it says who's got rights to make medical decisions or financial decisions. And that's normally in an agreement you have. But since she is absolutely unable to, and let's say this agreement doesn't exist,
okay,
somebody's got to be declared a guardian.
Gotcha. So she's in limbo because she's in divorce proceedings.
Well, the divorce doesn't stop, until there's an order.
Yeah, got it. That's what I mean.
Until the judge goes, yeah, you guys are free of each other. They're still responsible for each other.
Gotcha.
Sometimes a separation comes in and it stops some of the financial obligations. But in something like this, somebody's got to be declared the guardian.
Gotcha.
And somebody's paying these bills. And most likely it's the state or something else. But if they have joint assets, this money could be coming out of that.
Ooh. So if you guys have...
You been to the hospital lately?
No, thank God. Knock on wood. Nah, brother.
Ooh, it's 24-hour colonoscopy. I can never say that. Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy, right? Yeah.
That's a 24-hour, 7 days, no matter how much. You walk in the door, zoop.
Gotcha.
Out the door, zoop.
Got it.
And then they send you the bill, zoop.
So you get
That's the sound I imagine the tube makes when it's going up your butt. But, yeah.
Like the old bank tube.
You open it up, there's a check in it.
There's a check in there, sign it, put it back up in there.
I always love that. They always put a pen in it too to be grateful.
No lollipop?
No lollipop.
Yeah.
Man.
So
do banks give lollies anymore?
No. You can't even talk to a teller now. When you drive through?
You can. But you see the look of the guy when you walk in?
He's like, no, I mean the drive-through. Remember they used to do that? You can't even see it. You can't even talk to a person anymore. No.
Well, they don't want you to rob them.
They don't want you to rob them, and they don't want to be bothered anymore. It's go to the machine.
Who the hell can rob somebody through the tube?
That's very
Give me money.
That's a very creative way to do it. If
I
you can do that,
if I'm a teller and I get this tube come over and goes, "Give me money," or what? There are actually people who do rob banks like that.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Jeff,
give me the money, and sometimes they get the money.
Because why?
I don't know.
What's the threat?
No idea.
You gonna give me a bad Yelp review?
Zoop. Could you imagine going?
Yeah.
You got to be one lazy ass teller to go. All right, stick some money in.
Here's $1.
Could you imagine this one? I could send them a coupon.
That's funny.
You know what I'd give? I'd give my Planet Hollywood card.
Yeah.
Here's $8.
Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, do me a favor, sign up. I get a month for free.
There you go.
I see. Bank robberies are weird to me because some guy looks over and it's not really illogical.
Yeah.
Because when you really think about it, you go, okay, I'm going to rob a bank. I need some money. Well, they got money. I mean, that would be the first thought in my criminal mind.
Not mine.
I want money. Where would I get the money? I wouldn't go to 7-Eleven because nobody really uses cash anymore.
No, they don't. But I'm not good. I'm not one of those guys who be like, okay, I need money. I'm a criminal. What do I do? Yeah, the banks have lots of money. You know what they also have a lot of? Cameras, security, people with guns. I don't want none of that.
What kind of mask would you pick if you were robbing a bank?
Oh, it would be a superhero mask.
Like which one?
Black Panther.
You would?
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't go villain?
Oh, no. Black Panther.
I might want to go Joker.
Because, no, because they're going to think you're crazy. They're going to shoot first, ask questions later.
Oh, like if I come in Batman, it's okay?
Pretty much. If you're like, I'm robbing.
Cool, he's Batman.
I'm robbing the rich to give to the poor.
Give me the money now.
God.
I can't afford the child support for Robin. No,
my ward.
Yes. It's my ward, but now I got to write a check.
We got to get around to answering this question, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be declared as guardian. Okay. Sometimes hospitals declare themselves guardian because they don't want, they're getting screwed on their money.
Because their ultimate goal is to get paid.
Yeah. So the issue is, does this guy want to keep getting divorced? If you want divorce to continue, of course you get the court to do a guardian. That'd be the smartest thing. The court guardian ad litem is normally another attorney they attach to that. Family member can apply for guardianship. It's a process. It's not easy. It's probably cost you between $3,000 and $10,000.
Gotcha.
To be able to do that. You contact an attorney, and the attorney goes, "Oh, it's complicated." It's not complicated. It's just going to take a while.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. If I'm the estranged husband, we're going through a divorce, could
you think he's hoping she dies?
No. What I was going to ask is, can I defer?
I don't know.
Can I defer my rights?
Hold on. I don't know. You're going, let's say you had some money and you're going,
Sir, can we talk to you? Pull the plug. No, that's not the question.
If she dies.
No,
I don't have to give up half.
No, but if I'm a dad in that situation, can I defer my rights to the kids?
Yeah, you can have them take it.
Yeah.
Also, people don't know this. Let's say the will says if she dies, I get $1 million, and I'm the father. The father goes, you know what? I'm not going to take it. And the next in line takes it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually, and if you say in a will situation, I don't want to be included in this will, the will pretends that you predeceased the person who died.
So you don't even exist as far as okay.
It counts, it's like you died beforehand. So whatever the will says, it goes to the next person or the next person or the remainder and stuff like that. There's a bunch of legal stuff. But yeah, it's not that tough to deal with something like this. Now, after a year, 2 years, I'm sure the doctors are like, she's brain dead. You know, but people wake up.
It's rare though, right?
But they do.
Gotcha.
You know, my dad fell into a coma.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my dad had an aneurysm, and they were going to pull the plug 6, 7, 8 times on him. And
wow,
he just woke up.
How long? What period of time?
2 days.
Whew. Okay.
And I drove down to see him, and he remembered like it was like 10 years ago. It wasn't, he didn't remember the 10 years. It was like he remembered 10 years from when he went into the brain aneurysm took place.
Really?
So that was really weird. And I'm talking to him, and I'm going, and it's weird because it's like talking to a ghost. Because when you've already written somebody off,
when you've already
mourned,
yes,
and you've done these things, it's like, am I talking to the ghost of my father? And it was, because it was like the ghost of Poppy passed.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is just, and I didn't process it at the time. And I've asked myself, because he went back in the coma and died later. I've never asked myself the question, should I have asked him more?
Because you didn't know.
I knew that I was getting a mulligan, a free conversation. I was getting a do-over.
You really did.
And it was so weird. I guess I just treated it like this really wasn't happening.
Because you didn't process it. It was hard to process that.
So now it'd be interesting for me to go back and say, okay, it wasn't like I was talking to my father.
No.
It's bizarre. But yeah, so you have a hospital situation. You gotta be smart about this. Understand that I guarantee everyone there believes that she's already gone.
Probably. And
there might be a little hope somewhere, but once you've sat by somebody's bed for hours and hours and weeks and months and years, you know, it's not really, that's not a life.
That's not living.
That's not a life. No. You got to let somebody go when that happens.
Agreed.
And I know some people, well, what if they wake up? My dad said one thing to my sister. My sister told me, he goes, why did you do this? Meaning, why'd she not pull the plug? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That was weird.
That's very weird.
And I'm glad I wasn't her.
Me too.
I was so grateful my sister handled that.
Because I would have not known.
I'd have been like this going, I tried to pull the plug when you were alive.
On that note.
And scene. No. So yeah, in this situation, somebody's got to be declared the guardian.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's somebody who doesn't have an emotional attachment and can make proper decisions without putting their own feelings in it.
That's tough.
Just try to be responsible and don't get angry about this stuff. Money and families always go bad. Welcome back to Under Oath. Two attorneys arguing. It's the section where Craig and I talk about the law. Sometimes we agree. A lot of times we don't. Okay. The Sheriff Lopez, the Osceola Sheriff, not the deputy.
I saw the
actual
sheriff,
elected sheriff was arrested under federal racketeering charges.
Oh, no.
Federal racketeering.
What did he do?
An investigation they've been doing since 2023, which means the investigation started, he got elected again, and now he's got. You know what?
What
would you think? What would you think?
Has to be drugs.
You think so?
Has to be drugs.
They got cute. Gambling.
Really?
In a state, yeah. You know, it seems funny, and I'm not saying this is kind of a scam kind of thing, but, you know, you got the Hard Rock who's doing all that gambling commercials, and they're the only ones allowed to do gambling.
You know,
yeah.
I now I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't drugs.
I am glad it wasn't drugs or prostitution or anything like that.
I hate that.
Yeah, that's good. But hold on. So what?
$21 million, they say.
Yeah, well, yeah, you make a lot of money when you run a gambling operation. Sure, ask Hard Rock. Okay?
But they say he got paid because he was providing protection.
Why is Hard Rock the only entity that's allowed? Like, I'm sticking up for the sheriff a little bit.
All right. You want to know
why is Hard Rock the only one who can have gambling in Florida? Why can't somebody else?
You want to go into the bad? You want to go to the bad water, the murky water here?
It's
Aren't
bad.
we
already there?
Yeah. Well, you know why.
I don't know why.
Well, it's because we took the land from the Native Americans 300 years ago.
Oh,
and
so
this is our version of reparations.
Yeah. Here you go. You can...
What happened was this. They said, well, what happens on Native American land, they could do whatever they want to.
Uh-huh.
So they said, okay. And they go, we're going to give money to the state of Florida. And they built this big contract.
Okay. The fact that that's not illegal is just as objectionable as what this sheriff did.
They got the monopoly.
Because it's not, it's not the Indian tribe that's doing that. A bunch of rich people who aren't members of the tribe
no
invested a lot of money so that
they have partners.
Oh God.
They have partners.
Of course they do.
Who they hire to run the casinos.
The sheriff has partners too. And he was offering a valuable service. He was protecting his partners. That's a pretty good protection.
So it's your belief.
Hey, the guys protecting me have badges like that. Do you get any better protection than that? Like, I'd pay for that if I was running a gambling operation. I mean, I'm already committing a crime, right?
When did Disney World become New Jack City? That's all I want to know.
I'm already committing a crime. So if I'm going to have protection, what better protection than the guys who are wearing the badge?
What's the over/under on the Dolphin game? Damn it! I'm out of all my money. I need to go to that place. Yeah, I don't know.
When Disney starts opening up a casino, then you've really hit rock bottom.
You know what happened? Remember, they passed a law in Florida. They had us vote on it. Remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, see, this is all right, people. This is the scam. All right, the scam is this: they give us a bill. They say we're going to vote for it on the next election, and then we run commercials where they make it impossible for us to know what the actual thing we're voting for is.
Oh, they word the referendum.
It's going to affect our schools.
Yeah,
it's going to be terrible. It's going to affect our schools. What's it about? Oh, it's about not having casinos. Oh, okay. All right. And who pushed that? Disney and the casinos backed it to say that we actually have, for us to put a casino in for a private company, non-Native American, to put this in, we have to vote again.
Okay. What's Disney's position? Do they want
They don't
gambling?
want it. No.
They don't want
No,
gambling.
because it'll take money away from them.
Will it?
Oh, yeah. People won't go to Disney. Disney doesn't have gambling on their ships.
Well, hold on. If Orlando was Las Vegas, what better way to bring your kid? Where else would you take your kids?
No.
I can take you to Disney during the day.
Family friendly doesn't work in Las Vegas.
Yeah, over at Disney.
They found out family friendly doesn't work in Vegas.
No.
They tried to build all those parks for kids and everything else like that. Oh, yeah. MGM had a whole thing. Yeah, it didn't work.
Didn't work?
No. All right. Let's talk about something else. We got some billboards.
Other than Osceola Sheriff running interference for his game, how did it work? How does it work?
He provided protection, supposedly.
From who?
To the people.
Who do they need protection from?
Don't go to the house. Watch this.
The people running the gambling operation, they need protection from the police.
From other possible criminals, from police, other possible people trying to rob them. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to running a scam.
Is there?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot going on. You got accounting, you got maintenance, you got banking.
You seem to have some experience in this job.
No. I don't think I ever did it. I did play online poker when I was many years ago.
Is that illegal in Florida?
It became illegal. Yeah. Because what happened was the government shut it down because it was being run out of Antigua. And they didn't like that because they couldn't tax it. So Congress shut down the banks from being able to transfer money.
Should the sheriff have been charged with anything? It's not illegal to gamble. It's just illegal to gamble with the wrong people.
No.
How do we justify that?
What if he was selling alcohol out of his house? Same thing.
You're changing the facts.
I'm not.
We're talking about
There's a
gambling.
law that says you can only gamble in certain places. There's laws that says you can only drink in certain places. It's the exact same rule.
Okay. So I sell alcohol out of my car.
And I pay the police to allow me to run this unlawful enterprise.
But why is it unlawful? It's unlawful because the right people are not making money from it. Right people are not getting taxed. Oh my God, I sound like a libertarian now.
You do. I'm looking at you. I'm like, oh, what is wrong with you? You all right?
I'm generally not in the libertarian camp, but I can see their argument, at least on this point. It isn't illegal to gamble. It's just illegal to gamble the wrong way. How does that make any sense?
It's not illegal to drink, but it's illegal to drink in your car when you're driving.
No, well, that's a safety issue.
Huh.
Gambling
you don't think
at
regulating
Fred's house is no less evil or more good than gambling at the casino in Tampa.
You don't think regulation is important when it comes to gambling?
I don't want the guy playing poker on his phone driving down the road. That's if you're going to do the analogy, do one that matches. Yeah, you shouldn't play poker on your phone while you're driving.
Gambling is highly regulated to
Why?
make sure that people aren't being cheated.
No, to ensure that the right people get money.
The idea is that it keeps people from being cheated. Now,
Well,
here's what you're doing.
Will stop.
You know what you sound like?
If you have a casino and it's not regulated and nobody ever wins anything ever, no one's going to come to your damn casino. People have to win. You have to have a reputation. At least some of them have to win. So the marketplace will determine whether or not casinos get visited by people. They have to at least have some kind of hope that they're going to make money. What difference does it make if this particular company is making the money or, Sam and Joe in Daytona Beach?
Do you remember when we were public defenders?
I do.
So you remember the people coming in and going, it's unfair. The law is ridiculous.
Well, this one is.
No, because then you start going with remember the prostitution cases we used to have? And the women who were busted for prostitution would be like, I should be able to do, it's my body. I should be able to do what I want with it. Yeah. And I was like going, I agree.
But the analogy isn't that. The analogy is, okay, there's a whorehouse where prostitution is legal.
Hey.
All right. It's legal there.
House of ill repute.
A house of ill repute, whatever. It's legal there. Can't you see the argument that the lady's making? Just because I don't work for the house of ill repute, I'm doing my own independent prostitution over here on the side. What makes her any more illegal than the regulated prostitution?
Where do you think there's regulated prostitution in Florida?
I'm not talking about Florida. You were making the analogy between prostitution. I am making that same analogy for gambling. It's not more illegal to gamble in your garage than it is at the facility in Tampa.
It is legally regulated. Until the law changes, you are breaking the law.
Okay, so I'm advocating for the law to be changed to make it legal to gamble wherever
the hell you want. So you're going to go out down there and fight the casinos?
Does he have an
Good luck with
yet?
that. Good luck with that. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, that's the problem you're dealing with. But anytime somebody is helping run an illegal enterprise, and he knows it's an illegal enterprise, there's no doubt.
Yeah, it's not that illegal. It's not like super illegal.
It's not super illegal. He's breaking laws. He knows he's breaking laws. And the problem is he is the law. I am the law. He is the law. I'm the law.
He is the law.
He runs,
but he is the law. That's the thing. He is the law.
And I guarantee if you watch his commercials, I'm tough on crime unless it's mine.
Yeah, well, gambling isn't really a crime.
It is a crime.
No, it's only a crime because you're doing the gambling with the wrong people. That law doesn't make. Will you at least give me the idea that doesn't make a lot of sense?
It makes
you can gamble with the folks who run this casino in Tampa. Yeah, you can gamble with those folks. But if you gamble with somebody else, then it becomes illegal. Why?
Why? Because we have laws and regulations, and when you avoid regulations, bad stuff happens. We don't have people running bars out of their house. That's a very big thing. They have to have a liquor license. They have to have this because we want to protect the people who are doing stuff. Now, there's no way for us to tell if Joe Bob Bobby's roulette wheel is rigged.
Yeah, but that's not the crime. The crime isn't that, hey, you didn't submit your gambling operation to us for review. That I could see that being the crime.
Right.
You want to make it the crime? Make that the crime. If you're going to run a gambling operation, you have to allow state regulators come in and look at the odds and give an assessment.
Are you saying he did not break the law?
I'm saying he broke a law. That's
Are you
really
saying
not that important.
He did not break the law?
I'm not saying he didn't break the law.
A $21 million illegal gambling enterprise that he put his own resources to protect.
Listen, gambling is a very profitable business.
So are drugs.
Well, okay, that's really bad, though, because people are really dying.
Bad?
Yeah,
people
are dying.
We just survived the opioid crisis. Come on. And when you think about it, we're dealing with a guy who it's his job. It's not some guy going, hey, listen, viva la revolution. No, this dude is just figuring out ways to put money in his own pocket using his office to do that.
But somebody's going to put money in their pocket over the gambling.
So it might as well be the sheriff.
Might as well. Why
just
not?
Some good old boys.
Instead of the guys who owns the
Where's Cooter? That's all I need to know. Goose, Uncle Jesse.
Who owns the casinos that we are allowed to gamble?
The Native Americans.
Okay. But who really owns it? Where's the profit go?
The Native Americans.
Where's profit go?
The profit goes to Native Americans.
Who are the investors?
It could be they have deals with Harrah's and a couple different places.
They have deals with gigantic companies.
Well, they have private equity helping
pull
them.
most of the
private
money out.
equity. helping them invest.
But it's okay for them. It's not illegal for them.
They're getting interest rates. No,
it's not illegal for them.
They're lending money. Native Americans have a right to borrow money, just the way it is. Reparations, dude. You know the deal.
I feel like we're just saying that because we want the gambling.
We want
to be able to gamble.
We do want the gambling.
So we're just making it up.
But I want Vegas gambling because I don't like the rules at like the Seminole Casino.
Why?
They change little rules.
What rules?
The games aren't the same as they are in Vegas, for example. Like they have one game and then there's an asterisk under it. You do not get the bonus unless you beat the dealer. Well, that doesn't exist in Vegas. So you could lose to the dealer and you still get this stupid bet you make to bonus that hand.
Does that make a big difference?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. You could lose tens of thousands of dollars.
Well, what I can't get over is sometimes when you sit at these blackjack tables, the people will tell you, hey, you can't hit because the dealer, he has what they call a bust card.
Yeah.
And you have to not hit.
Yes.
And then I think, well, no, I do have to hit because I am going to lose. The dealer is going to have a better hand than me.
No.
So I have to still hit the card so I can make sure I beat the dealer.
The math is he'll bust. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So I always don't do that.
Well, that's because you're big. If you were little, you wouldn't do that. Because what are you going to do?
I tell the people sitting to my left, hey, listen, when the dealer throws a bus card,
I'm going to do a bunch of stupid stuff. So if you want to leave now,
hit
go
on
ahead.
the bus card. So I'm just letting you know.
Let me let you know. I'm the guy you're going to be yelling at your wife too about all night. Oh, this guy was sitting next to me.
Yeah, I'm not playing for all of us to beat the dealer. I'm playing for me to beat the dealer.
Well, that sounds pretty selfish.
Yeah, it is. I'm gambling. I want to win money for me. I don't want to win money for you.
And since you don't know how to gamble this game, you were just guessing.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it.
Okay. All right. We'll be back in a few if Craig still has some money. Welcome back to Under Oath. Today we have actor, singer, voice actor, and Lake Howell graduate, Scott Porter.
Yes, sir. Go Silverhawks. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. This show is actually shot from Orlando, so we appreciate your local accomplishments.
That's awesome. Yeah, go see me in the record books over there, winning the talent show with my barbershop quartet Echo and over 800 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns my senior year. So yeah, you know.
You gotta love that, man.
Peaked in high school.
I don't know about that. You did some time at UCF, so you got a nice little piece of Central Florida with you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can't finish, and I did not. But, eventually went on and worked at the theme parks there, like broke in, actually did my first shows at both Universal and Disney. So, yeah, Orlando has a huge part of my heart. And my brother still lives there, actually just helped open Epic Universe over at Universal. So,
no kidding.
Really cool.
I actually took my son. My son's autistic, and he's been dying for that park for 25 years. He's looking forward to a new park. So that was cool. So let's talk about what you're here for. You got a show on Netflix called Ginny in Georgia, and it's going into its 3rd season.
Yes, sir. We've been around since 2021 and have become somewhat of a hit. This actually might be the biggest show I've ever been a part of, just pure numbers wise. And I could not be more grateful. When we started this little show about a mother-daughter, Georgia Miller and her son and daughter, and she's on the run from a checkered past, ending up in a small, Massachusetts town where I'm the mayor. We didn't know what we were getting into at first. It was like a little show that could. And now we look back with the creative team that we have on this show and the 2 powerhouse leads that we have and the stellar cast and crew that we have working on this thing. And we go, well, how could we ever not have succeeded? So we are so grateful and just so fortunate to have so many people out there watching.
I was watching a scene from that last night, and I was like going, this is not Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, season 1, a lot of people wanted to try and put us in a box. There's always an elevator pitch for a show. And for anybody out there that has not watched Ginny in Georgia, the elevator pitch was Gilmore Girls with a little bit of Sons of Anarchy. That was the initial kind of elevator pitch, mash 2 shows up together. But we are our own thing. I 100% promise you. We are not Gilmore Girls. We are a lot more wild. We have cliffhangers everywhere. There's, murder in the past, murder in the present. There's a giant court case that's happening during season 3. And just seeing how our characters survive through all of that is a really interesting process.
Yeah, the actress who plays the mother in that, she's a beast. She's good. I was watching a couple scenes of hers. Woo!
Yeah. Brianne Howie and Tony Gentry are our Georgia and our Ginny, and we could not be anchored by two better actresses. The two of them, when they work together or when we get the pleasure to work alongside them as the rest of the cast, you just are a witness to two people fully in control of their talent and able to share that with so many people out there around the world. And it's incredible to sit on a quiet set and work across from. And then when you watch it, you really understand, man, this is a force of nature that I'm working across from. So, yeah, I'll have to pass that along to her.
Well, this is your third season, and I get to talk to actors. They've been on a show like you were on Friday Night Lights, you were on Scorpion. You've been on some fantastic Lucifer. You've done some amazing jobs. I've watched all these. I'm just, I'm kind of an uber geek. I write comic books, so I support what you do outside. A lot of people don't know. I'm wondering, you might be close to the Guinness Book World Record to play the most superheroes in video games, cartoons out there, because you play everybody. I was looking at Moon Knight, Winter Soldier, my favorite character, Ben Reilly. It is amazing how much work you've done in the voice acting community.
Wow, your favorite character is Scarlet Spider. Yeah. I absolutely love that, man. Yeah, I tried for a number of years. I was in the Final Four for Captain America. I was in the final running to play the Flash in George Miller's version of the Justice League that fell apart with our first writer's strike. And I wanted to be a superhero. I'm a big nerd. And I figured my way in was maybe through video games. And once I started voicing superheroes in video games, it just seems like it never stopped. And my most prolific role, I think, to this point is Star-Lord. I've been Star-Lord in over 10 games. And it's just been really cool to fill like the superhero boots and get my fill that way. And the cooler thing is, as my kids are growing up, that's one of the first projects they understand as far as acting. When they see me, Scott Porter, their dad, in a live action project, they have a hard time separating that it's dad acting as a different character. But when they hear my voice through the cartoons or the video games, because I read them books at night in different voices, they completely get it and they buy way more into the stories. So it's been really cool to see my kids really enjoy projects that I've been able to do that also bring me massive enjoyment. So it's just a big, beautiful circle, and I absolutely love doing all the voice work.
Now, I normally like to think I'm semi-smart. I'm an attorney. I do things. But I could not figure out the game you're known for, HeroClix. I got these things. I'm going, okay, I couldn't even figure. There were numbers on these things. You turn it around, and you are actually a big deal. I mean, you have your own character in this game.
Yeah, there's a game called HeroClix, and I've been playing it since it came out in 2001. The way I explain it to everybody is it's chess with superheroes, but instead of moving in the shape of an L like a knight does, Spider-Man can leap over buildings. And the reason it's called HeroClix is because at the bottom, I have all their statistics. And so you roll dice, you click the dials, and you play strategically. I played in the World Championships a couple of times when comic conventions were still a big deal. Wizard World Philadelphia is where I played, and then I started doing unboxings for WizKids because I love that game and I wanted to play with my son and daughter. I want the game to survive and be around, so I'd love to be a part of that whole thing. And then I kind of turned that partnership into a charitable effort. We do something called HeroClix for Huntington's every single year. And Huntington's disease is something that's in our family that we try to raise money to battle, find a cure for, and support families who are also facing HD. And so HeroClix for Huntington's is an event I do every year. This year, we just got done in May. We raised over $75,000 for HDSA using this tabletop board game, this version of superhero chess. So it's had a huge impact on my life, and I could teach you to play sometime. If you want to roll some dice and learn how to play, I can help you out with that.
Well, I might have to tell you, I don't know if you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Let me know. You can come to the booth and give me a quick lecture.
Oh, we could do it at Coliseum of Comics down there in Orlando. We'll figure it out.
That's kind of funny. I'm good friends with Phil, who owns Coliseum, so he's going to appreciate that shout out. I'm going to make sure to send him a clip of this. He'll really love that.
That's where I used to judge. I used to judge HeroClix at two different Coliseum of Comics back in 2003 and 2002. So, yeah.
I mean, the hard thing is for me, being an Uber geek, every once in a while I got to do a real cool thing. I got to interview Stan Lee before he passed. I got to, I get to write comic books. I mean, in this industry, you go, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. What would be the next comic book fantasy if you had a chance? Is it a Marvel movie? The problem is you've also done a lot of DC characters too. So it's a little, what would be the dream superhero job for you?
Man, at this point, just doing any of them. I mean, I don't want to feel like, a pauper out here, but, for the most part, there are so many incredible characters. And I'm in this business because I want to tell stories, cool stories, different stories. So really, there's a few characters out there I really absolutely love, but they've already been made in film. They've already been made in television for the most part. And, so there are other superheroes out there that haven't been touched yet. I'd love to just inhabit a character like that as long as it's a part of a greater overall story that's told with care. Green Lantern is one of my favorite characters of all time, and there are hundreds of Lantern Corps members. So even doing a smaller tale like in the Lanternverse, or finding smaller characters from independent comics. Image has such a huge list of really cool comic books and everything. To be a part of telling one of those stories would also be really, really cool. So for me, as long as it's a great story, I'll play anything. But my all-time favorite character is Iceman. If they ever did a older version of X-Men, a newer kind of
they do it all
reboot
the time.
of like an X-Men First Class story where the original 5 are kind of the older teachers at the mansion. That could be really cool as well. So that's my favorite guy.
Now, I read somewhere, because you've done Cyclops, where you gave the actor playing Cyclops tips on, hey, this. I mean, is that actually real, or is that just a BS internet thing?
I think that's a BS internet thing. James Marsden and I have met a couple of times. And one time when we met, he was like, people keep telling me that you're Cyclops. And I was like, well, I voiced Cyclops, but you, Jimmy, you are Cyclops. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's one of those crazy things that the internet just spins out of control. I came very close on the George Miller Justice League project. And at the time, I was in Wizard World Dallas at a comic convention signing autographs for Friday Night Lights, actually. And all of a sudden, somebody dropped an Action Comics on my table and they said, hey, sign it. And I was like, why? Why do you want me to sign a Superman issue? And what had happened was there was this website, Ain't It Cool News, that somehow got the test list of actors who were at the very final test before people were cast for the movie. And they were trying to figure out where everybody fit. And the internet conclusion was, I was Superman, which is crazy. Yeah. I am 5'11", 185 pounds soaking wet after breakfast. I am not Henry Cavill. But then I looked up and my line was like 400 people long out of nowhere. And all of them had Superman memorabilia. And that's just an example of how the internet can just spin out of control with things that just aren't true. So no, I never gave James Marsden a tip on how to play Cyclops.
It's a very weird thing, because I write comic books, people will come up to me with books and they'll go, this is your book. I'm going, trust me, this is not my book. And fans can be a little rough. They're going, I just want you to sign it. And you're going, and you like, okay. And you don't quite know how to deal with it, but that made them happy, and you do a lot of convention work. I mean, when you mentioned Wizard Philadelphia, that was like a blast from the past, because those were like huge. And you being able to be out among the people, I mean, it just must be such an amazing thing for having all these people come up to you and go and appreciate what you do.
I'm so grateful that, I've been a part of a number of shows that have bigger fan bases, and it's such an honor to continue to be able to work in this business and meet fan bases from all these different walks of life. After Friday Night Lights, somebody would ask me, is there something that somebody always says to you? And it's a miracle you can walk is something that I do still get shouted at me very often in airports. But having been a part of Heart of Dixie, having been a part of Lucifer, having been a part of Scorpion, and now with the biggest show I've ever been a part of, Ginny in Georgia, there are so many fans from these different shows that I meet that it's no longer a thing. Well, there's like one certain slogan shouted at me or one certain thing. It's just like a really cool experience to kind of look at somebody and they go, I know you. And then they'll say, from Speed Racer, and I'll be blown away because that was so long ago. But the fact that I've been able to work and had the privilege to work on this many different projects, and also the privilege to meet this many different varied fan bases, is just a really cool and wonderful experience. And I thank every single person out there. They're the reason I still get to work, really, quite honestly. So I just have so much appreciation and gratitude for it all.
You got to admit, there's a certain bit of humor in the concept that on Scorpion, you play the serious guy among all the geeks and everything else like that. And you are probably the biggest geek on that show.
Yeah, that was an interesting show to come into. My character was coming between Kat McPhee and Elias Gabel's character and breaking them up. And a lot of, shipping is a new thing for television. Well, not a new thing. I mean, it's like a couple decades old, but relationships are so meaningful to fan bases, and I was the guy coming in and breaking them up. So that fan base was very resistant to me when I first came in, and actually was pretty aggressive. But there was one scene in that show where I'm playing an arcade game and I set the high score and they shoot it through the arcade screen, and you can see me smiling in a way like you've never seen me smile before, because I'm getting to play video games on camera as a big nerd. And that was when the audience kind of got on my side. They're like, wait a minute, this guy's a nerd too. So I was super excited about that.
How tough is that? Because sometimes you're not the villain, but in a way they write you as the villain because they know what the fan base wants. So they bring you in as let's just say the villain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Tim Armstrong was a villain. I don't think that when you play the other guy in a love triangle that anybody is necessarily villainous, unless the show tries to just completely assassinate your character in the confines of the show so that they can build up another relationship. Luckily enough, I've been on quite a few shows where that hasn't been the case, where when you have a love triangle, you try to really just service the story by making sure that everybody understands these are complete people in this, situation, this relationship. And when things don't work out, it's for actual grounded reasons. And I feel like, Ginny and Georgia is a perfect example of, there are a lot of people who love the idea of Joe and Georgia together, people who love the idea of Georgia going back to her ex-husband and Zion, or staying with Paul, who is her current partner. And we have like a love rectangle. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, but it all centers around Georgia and how well written she is and how many facets you see of her, and then how it's reflected in the three of us. The writing's great. And when you're a part of that, it's not that anybody's a villain. It's that, just people might favor a certain relationship more. And nowadays, people do have a little bit of an absolute nature. It's this way or the highway for some fan bases. Hopefully that's not the case with Ginny and Georgia's fan base, but I've been really excited to play in that space.
Now, the cool thing about this is, you've gotten 3 seasons, and that's an amazing, and you're going, okay, let's get to 5, let's get to 8, let's get to 10. Because stability is a huge thing. The ability to spend more time with your family, the ability to, provide. Acting is a very tough vagabond-like existence, and you don't know where the next meal's coming. How tough is it for you to go? A lot of people get comfortable. Are you always thinking about, okay, when during hiatus, I'm going to do this movie, I'm going to do this? Or is it like, hey, this is a good opportunity to spend 2 or 3 months with my family? How does this even play out?
My parents met in a rock band in the 80s. I went to 7 different elementary and middle schools. So I led that vagabond life early on. And for me, I was an only child until I was 15. Like, I can exist that way. The interesting element was when my wife and I got married and we started to have a family. And now we've got 2 kids, 10 and 7. And I can tell you, my life as it isn't possible without my wife. She allows for me to go and work a job knowing that, our kids are so well taken care of. She's such an incredible woman. She's superwoman to not only our family, but everybody that knows her. And so that's really for me, like, what makes it still possible for me to continue to do this. That and the fact that my kids are actually able to pick up and travel at a moment's notice too. They are very well equipped to hit the road with us and continue continue on my parents' legacy of just continuing to try and make art while also making family a priority. I've seen that balance work. I saw it with my folks. The reason we moved down to Florida and in Orlando is because after years and years and years of performing in various bands, my parents wanted to be closer to family. My grandfather retired from the Air Force, moved to Orlando, and my mom said, you know what, we're going to go down there. We're going to make it work. We're going to get closer to Grandpa. And so that's why I ended up in Orlando. And without that happening, I don't have this career. Without working at the theme parks, I don't have this career. So every single move, all of this, vagabond lifestyle, every single piece of it was for a reason. And I really believe that continues now as I have my own family. So just very fortunate to have a partner in the midst of this that is so gung-ho about me in this career and so capable of leading our family while we're apart. And then since streaming became a thing, I have longer hiatuses, so I have more time to spend with the family. So it's been really cool. My kids have spent a summer with me in Toronto on Ginny and Georgia, a summer with me in New York while I did a musical comedy series for Hulu, a summer with us in Italy as we celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary, my wife and I, and they're going to be coming back up to Toronto this year for a little while. So, and a summer in Connecticut when I did a Hallmark movie. So they've picked up and come with us, and they have had the most fun on the road with us. So just looking to keep that happening and continue to find the work-life balance.
You'll be surprised at what those memories, when they talk about it, when they're in their 20s and 30s, the memories are going to say, oh, I remember being on this set. I remember being here. And it's going to really make them better people. Well, it was great talking to Scott, and I look forward to it. Next time you come down, I got to take you up on the HeroClix offer because I am useless at that game. So I appreciate it and continued success, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I'll look you up, and anybody out there's listening, you can find me at Skittish Kid on Instagram, and you go ahead and hit me up over there. We'll stay in touch. All right, brother.
You take care, man. Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF. or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.